I'm Laurie Dobson. It's September 1st, and this is Island Update. And I'm dedicating this Island Update to all the people who have weighed in on giving me feedback about my way of working with the island and my idea of service. And I don't know, maybe a quick recap on that was that back a couple months ago, I had realized that I was on an island where tribalism, nepotism, and whatever you wantism can reign. It's an island rules apply. We're not the mainland. That was all told to me early on. But I thought, civilization has a place, civilized behavior, working together as a group for the common good, an inclusive group where everyone matters and differing viewpoints are heard, and minority reports, minority expressions of concern, gadfly, the types of things where people are critical are important to hear and work with, not just to be shunned, not to be rejected and made to be evil or bad or be distanced from. But not on this island, my island, Cranberry Island, Great Cranberry. And everyone says, Maine, kind of tough place, but islands are the worst in terms of people being open-minded. So I had a tough nut to crack, and anyone that was definitely advising me to keep my head below the trenches, always below the trenches. Never want to get it, you never want to get your head cut off by expressing opinions or being concerned about things. But I didn't listen. I just figured, come what may, I'm supposed to do my job. I'm supposed to tell the truth as best I can, and find ways to work better, and recommend them as a leader and organizer, community organizer from a long time. I felt I had some unique abilities to help with that. So naivete, vanity, all the rest of it, overestimation, overconfidence. So those are some of the issues that I brought to the table. But I did, in fact, also attempt to communicate clearly and to make recommendations I felt were sound. So because I did that in a direct way, in a letter, after a resignation, and following the resignation, when I was basically, my reasons for resigning were lied about by the president so that she had cover after the fact. And then I followed that up with a letter saying what the real issues were. I had to clarify them because it wasn't enough to resign. I had to explain my reasons. So when I did, I got a huge reaction. Someone referred to it as a public hanging. You guys did. And so, but I just want to say, after some thought, reflection, and all that stuff that happens after you get some feedback by a gang of women who want to just kind of kick and pummel you because it's safe when you're in a group to do that. But we don't call it that when women do it, do we? No, we don't do that. We don't call it that. We call it, I don't know, public scolding or giving her due. Somebody told me that something about spreading manure, and I don't know, various comments, really just designed to show everybody else that you were with the program of punching me, giving me a punch. Everybody was giving me a punch, public punch. And so why? What was the big deal? I just recommended that we really look at the ways that the organization was organized. How we have the treasurer and the president, and those have a clear demarcation. We don't have private individuals or just individuals spending public money. And we work together, and we have common goals, not ones that are just put forward and pushed by a few in power. And in our case, the Ladies' Aid, it was Colleen and Joe running the show. So why care about this, people? Why would you listen to this video? Well, because it's instructive, I think. And it's even more instructive because we had fewer people on an island. When you have fewer people, you have fewer voices, so each voice matters more. It carries more weight. So So my point is, in doing this video, by saying that I've had some time to reflect and thinking about what's to come of this in the best possible way, and that is for me to recognize that I was given a wonderful, wonderful lesson, and that I am very grateful for it, and I'm actually sincere, because how else could I have ever gotten this message? And maybe some people would think, oh, the lesson is, don't open your big gap, or don't think you know anything more than we do, or it's always done this way, and don't try to exert power to change us. And that all may be appropriate to them. But the lesson for me, my lesson, my takeaway here, is that I understand without a shadow of a doubt what happens when you try in your ideas of what you can do to offer service when it isn't asked for and when it isn't wanted. That no matter what your high ideals are, no matter what the pressures are to serve in the way that you think you can bring to something, and the idea of leadership, that it's a rare phenomenon, that people will want it. It's rarer that they will try to stand up for you, and rarer still that they will try to adopt measures to bring ideas of change about. So I'm not going to get myself killed at an intersection or on an island. Self-preservation is firmly impressed upon my mind. I don't need to do anything twice. But I did make it clear, whatever organization I was in, that I wasn't going to become corrupted. And of all the places I've had an opportunity to become corrupted, in the 3 different political campaigns I ran, 2 for state rep and 1 for U.S. Senate as an independent, 2008. I never once was corrupted, and there was a lot of pressure to make me that way. A lot of pressure saying I could succeed if I would accept help from certain quarters and not use my own voice, use another voice as my own, and represent it as my own voice. And to this day, to this point in time, I can say with confidence that nobody owns my voice. Nobody owns my voice. I am free to speak. And how many people have earned that right? Well, I don't know how other people earn the right to feel truly free, but I do, and I can recommend it. I didn't die. I haven't died speaking the truth, since 2002, when I ran openly opposing the war. And so I don't think there's any better way to live, but I do think comes a time when you realize for yourself, and it's an individual choice, it's about your understanding that you have stood the test, you've stood the temptation, you've withstood the trials and the pressures to conform, and you know who you are. And I know who I am. I've jumped through these hoops of fire before, and now if they couldn't do it before under harder circumstances and more pressure to bow to the collective will, and specifically the Democrats' effort and Republicans' effort to silence me and saying things that weren't corporately approved. And if you look at it, an island is a big corporation in a certain way, and it's used to running itself that way, not in cooperation, not a community experience. So everyone seems these days to like to have tyrants as leaders, or friendly on the outside, crooked on the inside. They understand that's their model of leadership, but it isn't mine. My model of leadership still remains. I believe in the common good, the commonwealth. I believe we make decisions together and then we work with them. We have covenants that we apply to ourselves, to our places of worship, to our understandings in leadership, and rules that we create for people in their communities. We don't worry about what we sound like. We concern ourselves with what we're doing and how we're treating people. The ideas of service still apply, and I'm proud to say I'm faithful to that ideal. Thank you for listening.